There is a voice inside your head. It speaks to you every single day. It narrates your failures, your doubts, your fears. It questions your worth. It warns you not to try. Sometimes it even tells you to give up. But here is the truth that most people never understand: that voice is not who you are. It is who you have trained yourself to be. And the miracle of neuroscience is that you can train it to speak differently. You can speak back. And when you do, everything changes. Your brain listens to what you say. Every internal sentence, every repeated phrase, every thought pattern, it builds the architecture of your identity. Dr. Andrew Huberman has studied how these thought loops, especially when repeated over time, become neural grooves that shape how you think, feel, and act. But here is where the power begins. When you change the way you talk to yourself, when you replace criticism with intention, fear with focus, shame with strategy, you alter your biochemistry. You elevate your mindset. You literally restructure your brain. So for the next 21 days, you are not just repeating words. You are reprogramming a machine more powerful than any computer ever built. You are not feeding your brain with empty affirmations. You are instructing it, commanding it, directing it toward a new identity. Self-talk is not just a motivational buzzword. It is a neurological reality. The language you use, both silently and aloud, activates specific neural pathways. These pathways, when activated repeatedly, form habits of thought. And these habits define your emotions, your confidence, your actions. Dr. Andrew Huberman emphasizes that your brain is constantly monitoring your internal dialogue. It treats your thoughts as instructions. When you repeatedly tell yourself, "I cannot do this," or "I am not enough," your brain responds by reinforcing limitations. But when you speak with purpose, when you tell yourself, "I am learning, I am focused, I am in control," your brain responds differently. It releases neurochemicals that align your physiology with your mindset. Dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin, the building blocks of motivation and clarity, are triggered not by success alone, but by belief. Think about that. You do not need to achieve something first to feel empowered. You simply need to instruct your brain with clarity and consistency. The voice inside your head is either your enemy or your ally. For the next 21 days, you are choosing to make it your most powerful tool. This journey will not require perfection. It will require repetition. You will need to remind yourself daily. You will face resistance. But science confirms what most people never realize: what you repeat, you become. Every morning, speak these words with clarity: "I am the architect of my mind. I decide what thoughts I will build. I choose the patterns I repeat." Dr. Huberman explains that the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, logic, and decision-making, activates more powerfully when you attach language to intention. Saying this phrase is not about ego. It is about ownership. You are not a passenger in your thoughts. You are the engineer. When you say, "I am the architect of my mind," you awaken a deep sense of agency. You remind your brain that it is not controlled by fear or impulse. It is guided by your vision. Speak it while looking in the mirror. Write it in your journal. Repeat it until it becomes a filter for your day. When distractions arise, when anxiety creeps in, return to this phrase. It tells your brain what to prioritize. You are not waiting for change. You are designing it from within. Attention is not passive. It is a skill. One of the most important discoveries in neuroscience is that focus is trainable. And it begins with intentional language. Say this to yourself every morning: "I focus my attention like a laser. I eliminate distractions. I choose where my energy flows." This activates the anterior cingulate cortex, which plays a key role in filtering out irrelevant information. When you declare your focus, your brain listens. It begins to suppress the noise and highlight the signal. Dr. Huberman teaches that visual focus and mental focus are linked. When you fix your gaze on a single point, your mind begins to narrow. But before you even act, the words you say direct that narrowing. Use this statement when your mind wanders, when social media pulls you away, when stress scatters your thoughts. Repeat, "I focus my attention like a laser." Over time, you will find yourself controlling your attention with ease. Not because you forced it, but because you trained for it. One of the most liberating self-talk shifts you can make is this: "I respond with power, not emotion. I control my reactions. I guide my state." Your amygdala, the emotional alarm system of the brain, can be regulated by language. When you label your emotions, when you speak your intentions aloud, the prefrontal cortex regains control. This is not about suppressing how you feel. It is about transforming how you respond. Saying these words in moments of frustration reminds your brain that it has another option, that it is not a slave to instinct. Over time, this phrase wires in emotional regulation. It teaches your nervous system to shift from reactivity to intention. You gain what Dr. Huberman calls top-down control. where your higher brain centers guide your lower emotional ones. Use it in moments of tension. Say it before a difficult conversation. Whisper it when anger rises. I respond with power, not emotion. This single phrase can keep your entire day on course. Most people spend their lives chasing approval. But the moment you say this aloud, I am worthy without validation, you begin to untangle your identity from other people. Dr. Huberman explains that social validation lights up the brain's reward circuits, but over-reliance on external praise can create dependency. You lose your sense of self. You wait for permission to feel good. This phrase breaks that loop. It activates internal reward systems. It reminds your brain that worthiness is not something earned. It is something recognized. Speak this when you feel judged. Say it when you doubt your voice. Write it when your confidence fades. The brain takes note. Over time, the need for constant affirmation decreases. You become grounded in something unshakable. The voice of approval no longer comes from others. It comes from within. This phrase is the anchor of it all. I am becoming who I am meant to be. Every step I take shapes my future. Every choice is building me. It ties together all the neuroscience. It connects plasticity, identity, motivation, and belief. When you say this, your brain activates pathways of optimism, resilience, and long-term thinking. Dr. Huberman often speaks about the power of identity-based habits. When you align your actions with who you want to become, change sticks. But it starts with belief. And belief begins with language. Say this phrase at night. Say it when you feel behind. Say it when you fail. It reminds your brain that mistakes are not the end. They are part of becoming. You are not static. You are not stuck. You are becoming. And that truth is more powerful than any obstacle. There will be moments in the next 21 days when you forget, when you fall back into old patterns, when the voice of doubt feels louder than your new identity. But remember this, neuroscience is not about perfection, it is about direction. Every time you repeat these phrases, you lay down new neural roads. At first, they feel unfamiliar, weak, but with each repetition, they grow stronger, more automatic, more real. This is not about lying to yourself. It is about telling the truth before it fully arrives. It is about speaking to the version of you that is still under construction but already alive in potential. You are not reciting mantras. You are reshaping molecules. You are guiding dopamine. You are teaching your brain what matters. And what matters most is who you are becoming. No one else can do this work for you. But every time you choose these words, you are building a mind that serves you, a mindset that carries you, a voice that lifts you. Now, it begins not tomorrow, not next week. Now, take one of these phrases, write it down, say it out loud, repeat it until your voice no longer feels borrowed but authentic. Do this for 21 days. Create a ritual, morning, noon, and night. Anchor your brain in purpose. Let your self-talk be the compass that guides your actions. Track your changes. Record your insights. Celebrate your wins. And when you stumble, return to the words, I am becoming who I am meant to be. The science is clear. Your brain listens. Your thoughts matter. Your voice is the instruction manual for your future. So speak with power, speak with clarity, speak with truth. And let the next 21 days transform not just your mindset, but your entire life.